Okay, so this here is my platformer that I created. Within this platformer, I have 4 different rooms. I have this as a kind of introductory room. I have the first level, which is fairly simple, and it might look like you can't really see the platforms, but you'll see how that turns out later. This is another kind of like intro room slash checkpoint room, that kind of thing, so that if you do have to, you can go back to this room. You don't have to go back and into like another harder level. This is another level. Again, platforms can't really be seen like in the previous view, but you'll see later how that kind of affects gameplay. And then I have a final level, and that's it. And then in my workspace, I have several objects. I have the player object, and it has the variable set for it here. And it has different interactions, and down here it has this collision and movement. I have my walls, which don't require anything. I have these, which are kind of like death barriers almost. They don't need anything in them either. This is a wisp that kind of acts as a bonus jump. It has basically its visibility settings, and this only sets it so it's invisible, not that I can't interact with it. This is just more of an extra challenge during gameplay, so that if you do hit it once, you will have to wait about 10 seconds before it will come back, just to make it a little bit harder for you to get by. This is my camera that keeps everything focused on the player and moving with the player, so you're not just looking at the whole screen the entire time. This is a light, which I will show you later, and it has 3 different events, which allows it to glow and basically function as a light. These are just 3 signs. They're not very important. This is a goal button, which I did not have time to fully draw out, but basically when you touch this, you will go to the next level. I have a background, which is glowing again, similar to the light, and you'll see how that glow affects gameplay. And then I have this, which is kind of like a death wall that rises up. And you'll see that in one of the levels. And then finally, I have these moving death barriers. Basically, they move constantly to the left, and if you touch them, it will reset the room. And, yeah. So, wait for this to load. Alright, so here's the first level. You got the lights. It's running a little bit slow, but that is normally not an issue. Probably just because I have so many programs on. Okay, and I touched the goal button by accident. Okay, so here we have the next level. See that the background flashes from black to white. It gives you a second of, again, the entire theme I had for this game, which basically you can't really see much. And again, as you can see here, the lights still function, the wisps still function as jumps, but you can't see them. And if I do wait here for a little bit, it will be longer. Yep, and you can see they come back. And then here, you can see we have the death barrier. If I touch them, the ring gets reset. I would like to set a death screen, but due to Game Maker's room limits with this free trial, I can't really do it. Here we have the goal button. It allows me to go to the next room. This is one of the checkpoint rooms. It just showcases the lights. See how the lights glow. I gotta fix. That's really it. It's more for just aesthetics. They don't really do much. I do, however, use them as hints, which you can pick up on as you go through the levels. As you can see, when it gets dark, you can't really tell what's going on. So I have the lights above platforms and wisps. This is the rising lava type thing. And when you touch it, it resets the room and it goes back to the bottom. This one's pretty simple. You climb up, you follow the path. A little bit tricky at certain times, which is why I don't have the lava that quick. But I could definitely set it a little bit faster, about twice the speed, and it would still be possible. And that'll be that level. And then here we have these orange kind of moving death barriers that will constantly move to the left. On the floor we have a death barrier, all the way in the left, which you'll see we have a death barrier. If I touch these, it resets the room. This again, not that very hard of a level. Pretty simple, pretty basic. You just jump on platforms. You have the whisk for boosts. Here at the end, it does get tricky. Let's work back up to the end. It does get tricky here at the end a little bit because I did put a lot more of these near the end. However, it is possible, and that is the end of the game. And again, due to Game Maker's 4-room limit, I cannot add another room that's like you win or like another story room or something, because this is what I'm limited to. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I have a large amount of variables for each of them. I have a large amount of different sprites and colors that I drew with testing this game. 4 rooms, and yeah, that's my platform game.